Engagement vs. Productivity, promoting meaningful work through autonomy and purpose. Abstract. This article explores the relationship between employee engagement and productivity, arguing that promoting engagement alone does not necessarily increase productivity. It draws a distinction between engagement, defined as enthusiasm and commitment to work, and productivity, relating to outputs and results. While engagement and productivity are often assumed to be directly correlated, research shows highly engaged employees are not always the most productive and vice versa. The article identifies autonomy and purpose as key drivers for both engagement and productivity. It then provides practical recommendations for cultivating autonomy and purpose through accountability, flexible work arrangements, strategic involvement, feedback, growth opportunities, and clearly communicating organizational purpose. Case studies and metrics for measuring success are also discussed. The article concludes that fostering meaningful work through autonomy and purpose creates a virtuous cycle, boosting both engagement and productivity long-term. As a management consultant and researcher, one of the questions I'm frequently asked to address is how companies can get the most from their employees while also ensuring high job satisfaction and engagement levels. On the surface, it seems logical that the more engaged employees feel, the more productive they will be. However, as I've discovered through my work, the relationship between engagement and productivity is actually more nuanced than that. Today we will explore this nuanced relationship and provide practical recommendations for leaders seeking to promote both engagement and productivity within their organizations. Defining key terms. Engagement is not the same as productivity. Before diving into recommendations, it's important to define some key terms and clarify the difference between engagement and productivity. Employee engagement refers to the level of enthusiasm, commitment and motivation employees feel towards their work. Engaged employees are typically self-motivated, passionate about their work, and willing to go above and beyond in their roles. Bakker and Demaruti. 2008. Productivity, on the other hand, relates more directly to the outputs, efficiencies and results that employees and teams are able to achieve. Kurosi. 2021. While high engagement is commonly assumed to directly translate to high productivity, research has shown this is not always the case. Highly engaged employees do not necessarily equate to the most productive ones when productivity is measured strictly by outputs. Likewise, the most productive employees are not always the most engaged. Companies focused solely on engagement often overlook the importance of work characteristics like autonomy, variety, feedback, and purpose, which directly influence productivity. Khan. 1990. Bakker and Demaruti, 2008. Autonomy and purpose drive both engagement and productivity. Through my research and client work, I've found two factors to be most influential in promoting both high engagement and high productivity: autonomy and purpose. When employees have autonomy over their work and see the purpose and value in what they do, they become intrinsically motivated to do their best work while also deriving satisfaction from the work itself. Autonomy refers to the level of independence, discretion, and freedom employees have in determining or influencing how they do their work. Hackman and Oldham. 1976. Studies show autonomy consistently ranks among the top job attributes that engaged and satisfied employees desire. Gallup. 2017. It also enhances productivity by allowing workers to organize their time and priorities in the most efficient manner based on their skills and preferences. Parker. 2014. Having a clear sense of purpose, understanding how one's work creates value for customers, the community or society, is another powerful driver of both engagement and productivity. Purpose provides the why that makes work meaningful even during mundane or challenging tasks. Austin. Norter and Bailey, 2017. It sparks intrinsic motivation to do quality work that fulfills the purpose. leading to increased discretionary effort, perseverance, and creativity on the job. Grant, 2007. Fostering autonomy and purpose through accountability and flexibility. So, given the importance of autonomy and purpose, how can organizations cultivate these drivers in practical ways? Based on my experience working with a variety of clients, here are some effective strategies. Promote accountability over micromanagement. Empower employees to make decisions within defined parameters rather than requiring sign-off on every little task. Hold them accountable for goals and outcomes rather than methods. Offer flexible work arrangements. Allow flexibility in work schedules and locations when possible. Remote and flexible options increase feelings of autonomy and work-life balance. Involve employees in strategic planning. Solicit input from frontline staff on how their work impacts customers and society. Help them see the big picture to find more purpose in daily tasks. Provide meaningful feedback. Regular feedback keeps employees on track to fulfill their purpose while allowing room for autonomy and growth. Praise efforts and progress, not just finished outputs. Give employees ownership over projects. Allow teams to design and implement their own initiatives from start to finish. Watch engagement and results soar as autonomy and purpose converge. Communicate your why openly and often. Clearly articulate your organization's mission in a way all employees can relate their roles to. Emphasize how their work directly supports this purpose. Offer learning and growth opportunities. Continued development prevents boredom and makes work more interesting. It also allows employees to regularly expand their autonomy through new skills and roles over time. By integrating some or all of these strategies depending on your industry and resources, leaders can foster a culture where employees experience their work as both engaging and productive due to high levels of autonomy and a strong sense of purpose. With consistent effort, engagement, and productivity will mutually reinforce each other for sustainable long-term benefits. Measuring success and overcoming potential challenges. Of course, implementing changes to enhance autonomy and purpose takes time, resources, and ongoing effort by leaders. It's also important to define what success looks like and be prepared to address potential challenges along the way. Key performance indicators to track: employee satisfaction survey scores, particularly for autonomy, purpose, and overall engagement. Productivity metrics like output quality, efficiency, sales, revenue per employee, retention rates, turnover costs, times to fill vacant positions. Potential challenges to watch for include resistance to change from managers used to micromanaging, employee abuse of flexible policies requiring new trust-based management, initial growing pains as teams adjust to new accountability and autonomy, limited short-term gains if not sustained by continuous improvements. The payoff is worth it for organizations that commit to an ongoing culture shift with patience and support for leaders and staff through the transition. Engagement and productivity levels typically rise substantially within 12 to 18 months when done right. Conclusion: promoting high engagement should not be the sole focus of leadership if increased productivity is also a priority. True engagement stems from work that employees themselves find inherently meaningful through adequate autonomy and purpose. By cultivating these drivers through flexible work, accountability, strategic involvement, feedback, and growth opportunities, companies empower staff while fulfilling objectives. It requires an adjustment in management mindsets, policies, and daily practices, but leads to a virtuous cycle where engagement enhances productivity, which reinforces engagement. Leaders who make this shift will be rewarded with highly motivated, innovative, and results-driven workforces.